Hello, everyone. It's Adam here. I'm thrilled that we have uh, the US manual for the R1300GS. This will be a 2024 model year, and as of today, the 19th of October, there are only 3 of these in the US, but they are all European specification. So the US spec GS motorcycles are either en route to the US or sitting at port in Jersey, waiting to be checked in and then sent to dealers. So I'm sure you all have deposits down, order banks are open. I wish you luck. But I'm so happy to see the user manual because I get to go through the things that I'm curious about this new model. I've been waiting for the user manual to come online for a couple of weeks. Okay, let's get right into it. And before I begin, I did publish a video last weekend of some initial thoughts on the GS that I saw at Barber Museum. There were 3 on display. Those 3 bikes, after I did a video, went on to go to the Performance Center in Greer, South Carolina. All 3 of them were there for the GS Trophy Team USA qualifier. I got to see them there, and now one of them has gone on to Motorcycles of Charlotte, my hometown BMW dealer, where Sean Thomas did an overview of it last night. So these European bikes are making their way across the country in anticipation and building up buzz. So I'm stoked. I've seen them a few times now, and I just can't wait to see the final version and give it a ride. So please subscribe. I'll be riding one in the next couple of months, hopefully. So the US model manual here, it's a lot to dig in. The first thing I did here is just go to service. So a bunch of service matches here, but if you go down to the bottom, we'll see that we actually have the service schedule. Really important stuff, right? Is the service schedule. And I wanted to know just how quickly I need to be doing oil changes and valve checks on this new fully liquid cooled GS Boxer motor. So break-in is still going to be at that 600 miles, although now they say between 300 and 750. That's a new clarification from BMW. A lot of people say, can I just ride it back to the dealer the next day? Yes, of course you can. 300 miles is plenty. 750 is the most you want to go. At 6,000 miles, you can be doing oil change and a inspection. Looks like engine oil and then just standard scope, which is just inspecting stuff, looking it over. At 12,000 miles, though, valve check. And so this 6, 12, 18, 24 schedule is just like today's GS, where you have a break-in service at 600 miles, oil change at 6,000, valve check at 12,000. Let's see when we have to do the final drive or the bevel gears. So spark plugs are 6, air filter is 7, and replace the universal shaft is 9. So 48,000 miles to replace the shaft. That's interesting and expensive. That's like a $1,300 part today on today's 1250 GSs. So start saving for that. I don't see, oh, there's bevel gears in 4. So 4, 5, and 6 are right here. So 12,000 miles is going to be oil, valve check. Is 10 there too? No, 10 is every 12 months. So 5, 6, 7. It's also going to be valve clearance, replacing spark plugs, and the air filter. So just like today, every 12,000 miles is super expensive. And then you're going to want to change the brake fluid every 12 months. Today it's actually every 2 years for brake fluids. That's also going to be a higher cost. So you think about consumables and supplies and labor. BMW didn't do us any favors in reducing the service cost of a GS. In fact, there's more service, which is the more often brake fluid changes, as well as the drive shaft at 48,000 miles, and everything's gotten more expensive. I was really hoping to see a 24,000 mile valve check with spark plugs and rear bevel gears, but alas, it's every 12 still. Very sad. But if you do your own maintenance and buy your parts at your dealer, then you'll be fine. Break-in service is mostly unchanged. I don't see much going on here. checks, 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 spokes. Nothing changed there from previous years. Let's go back to the very top of this manual. I'm going to scroll through here. We're not going to spend an hour on this video. I'm going to scroll through and look for some highlights, things that I noticed that thought would be fun to pick out. As someone who has a 1200GS and knows a bit about the 1250, I'm not a mechanic. I don't work for a BMW dealer. I just love the bikes. So going through here, and this might be refreshing, not ideally for you all. Let's get rid of this view here. There we go. Get rid of those yellows. I'm not seeing much here that I want to go to, except maybe equipment and technical data. I'm looking for some more visual aids here to be exciting and interesting to you all. There's Bluetooth, obviously. There's a connected app, which is powered by TomTom. Someone earlier, by the way, in the Adventure Rider forums had asked if the new BMW Connected Navigator is also TomTom Maps. It doesn't look like it is. It looks like this is a special device manufactured for BMW by Garmin, which means you're going to have Navtech data. So Garmin doesn't have their own map. They buy data from Navtech, and that data is basically like, it's weird, but it's like Nokia, Microsoft, Garmin are all on cahoots. And then TomTom is over here as the last independent mapping company. So if you use the connected app into your TFT, then you're going to have TomTom data. If you use the new connected device that's built by Garmin, you will have Navtech or Garmin data. Nothing more to see here. Keep going, keep going. Under the seat, we have some tools. Looks like we have nothing exciting here. Looking for where that key is. Multifunction switch, no changes there. Right side, no changes. There is SOS now in the States. How that'll be powered, if that's subscription based, I have no idea. That was a European only feature until just recently. Instrument cluster, no changes from the 1250. Nope, no photodiode still there. Let's see, no change. There's some little changes here really in relation to the automatic cruise control, which is radar power cruise control, which you'll have here. They've taken the interface from the larger 12-inch TFTs and made it all toit like a tiger. So that's all been kind of compressed down. I wish they had just gone full 12-inch TFT on the GS, but they didn't. Not many changes here, although I see a little button here that shows that your ESA system is raising or lowering your bike. I'm imagining that icon is going to illuminate when you are above X amount of miles per hour. We'll figure that out in a second. Or if you're below X amount of miles per hour, it will then lower your bike to prepare you to put your feet down at a red light or something, or a stop sign. So that's a new icon. Everything else here looks just like a small revamp, but nothing that's, nothing major here. Nope. Nope. We're going pretty fast here. You do now have a sport view in your TFT. This isn't new to BMW Motorrad though. This was a function that was on the S1000RR or R, M1000R, the R1250RS, maybe the R1250R as well, but lean angle, all that kind of stuff was all in sportier BMW motorcycles with this TFT part. So nothing changes there. Not seeing anything new on the My Vehicle service area, and not really much else going on there. I'm looking for changes, by the way, guys, not, like, there's not a change, but I love this is hot with an exclamation point. That's like a AP style guide issue of using exclamation point for no reason. Yeah, and nothing here that I can see that's new. Nope, 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 nope. I think the R1300GS in the premium spec will have the alarm system included. Some people will disable the alarm system. So, for what it's worth, you might choose to do that. I have it enabled on my R18, but sometimes it goes off accidentally. That's a new one, actually. Limited ABS availability. It looks like it's related to a fault. I would assume that lights up as a warning light if you have Enduro Pro enabled, but no, maybe not. Just like it does if you disable traction control by holding down that ASC button. There are some new warnings related to distance control, which is your radar, front collision warning. So if your radar part, the part itself has a loose connector or is broken, or you've treated your bike properly and dropped it off road and damaged something or shorted this out, you're going to have some warning lights and some things related to um, your collision warning or lane change warning. I imagine lane change warning temporarily failed may also fail if you were to permanently remove your side mirrors and replace them with like double take enduro mirrors. Then I think you have a permanent coding error there once you figure out a way to disable that. So I believe that modifications that I would typically do, such as changing turn signals, putting on guards on the front of my bike that are metal as opposed to plastic that block that radar sensor, or removing the side mirrors are going to make permanent fault codes flash here, which is unfortunate, and it just makes the GS more expensive to operate because these are things that are break when you're dropping your bike off road. If you're a road rider, you can ignore the last like couple of minutes of me ranting about this. Nothing else here, nothing else here. Do. More warnings. Yep. The new GS, by the way, is lithium-ion battery as opposed to an AGM sealed battery. Pretty cool stuff. I've been lithium, and there's been people worried about lithium being like unreliable in cold temperatures. As someone coming from New Hampshire, I ran a lithium battery powered by anti-gravity for like 3 years now. It's great. I've never actually had to hit that restart button. It's always cranked even in cold temperatures. So buy with confidence and wouldn't worry about lithium-ion battery coming on your GS. Just don't do any crappy wiring where you're like shorting the battery or draining it slowly overnight with like lights that can't be turned off and stuff like that. This is, we already had an oil level check, but maybe there's some new, maybe there's some new actual Smarty Pants oil level indicator where like it's percentage based. Probably not. Coolant check, engine overheating. You guys bored yet? I'm not bored yet. I'm looking for juicy stuff. Tire pressure, RDC sensor. I don't think I've ever seen a display that actually says, like, written out that the motorcycle is not upright. Since the later model R1300GS is like 2016 and later, and Sean Thomas would correct me here because he knows all the details of the electronics, but at some point in that liquid-cooled GS range, 1200 GS range, there was a tip-over sensor that would kill the engine. Not kill it, but stop it. I've had faults that go so bad as I can't even restart the bike, and I have to actually pull the positive lead from the battery to reset this system because it won't restart. This is new because we have call function now. With Europe, this is new for them, but there is some call stuff. And I guess this requires like a cell phone service to use, not satellite or anything. ABS, ABS. Those are all pretty common. I mean, there's been ABS faults for years on BMWs. I think we're getting to some juicy stuff here soon. Low compensation fail. That's interesting. So you have a level sensor on the rear shock of the current 1200, 1250 GSs that will give a malfunction of like load, motor overheated is one, ride height adjustment faulty. So this is not gonna. It says go to a workshop, sure, but there's no rush. It just means your bike's not going to be properly sprung for your the amount of weight that you have over the rear tire. Full start, no big deal. Cruise malfunction. Yeah, distance control is radar specific. So if you have a base model GS without radar, they might all have radar, but you'll have that come on sometimes if you have radar. Let's see. We're probably going to skip this one pretty quickly. That's the distance control of what it'll look like on your bike there whenever you are setting up cruise control. So you can basically, just like a car, you can tell your bike to follow closely or far away. We also have DTC settings, damping settings, windscreen settings if you're equipped with a motorized windscreen that can go up and down. Automatic cruise control and heating settings. Here's how you can access all those. I don't see any new stuff there. Wait a second. No, that's repairing. I was waiting to see some ESA settings for ride height adjustment because I'm curious how they've done that in the new bikes. Don't really care about audio playback, although the R1300GS is not equipped with speakers like the R1250 RT or the R18. There are no speakers equipped, so you can only access the media controls if you are equipped with a helmet that's paired to the bike. Oh, there's some good stuff in here, like riding modes, cruise control, and more. So let's get into the juicy stuff. Yep, key is wireless, steering lock. You now have an on and off button, so you don't have a power button between the handlebars and the upper triple tree. You have a power button now on the right handlebar rocker switch there, and you have to hold that down to lock the steering wheel. It's just like the R18. So this is already featured. If you lose your keys, you have the key system, which is under the seat. Has always been there. It's been there since the 2012, 2013 GS with Kessie. New key. That's your new 1300 GS key, by the way. Breaking news. So people do these like thumbnails that are going to be like new key design, and I'm just like, there it is. Let's not worry about it. Nothing there. There's your new emergency call. So you have an SOS TFT takeover. You can hold that SOS button. But who are you calling? A BMW call center. You can cancel it. It will call in the event of a light fall or crash, and there's an acoustic signal that will be emitted that you can then cancel. It doesn't mention that there's any cost to this. So it's just something that's nice to have. Again, I drop my bike generally in places where there is no cellular phone signal. And cellular phone, like SIM-based, even eSIM-based cellular service costs money. So I wouldn't imagine that BMW is footing this bill and that you have to pay for it, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's been Europe for a while, so Europeans can tell me how it works if you want to in the comments. I don't care about hazards. DTC on or off. That's a new UI design there. Dynamic ESA. They're not calling it ESA anymore. They're calling it DSA. So you have multiple rocker settings. There's road. You have road dynamic, which is the two you have now. You have enduro setting. You can, in the settings, you can select it to -1 or -2, the decrease setting, or +1 or +2. So you could, in enduro mode, set it to the highest setting, and in road mode, set it to the lowest setting. This is fully customable by the user, but you can't adjust it dynamically. You have to, when the mic is not moving, because your settings is disabled when you're not moving, you'll have to come to a stop and reset your ride mode and change the damping setting for that ride mode and customize it, and then it gets fixed and stays that way. You can't do the one helmet, two helmet passenger thing like you could before, or a min max. And this is your icon of if it's raising or lowering. So automatic ride height is in either of these modes. You can do automatic ride height. In the Enduro Pro modes, you can do continuously high or continuously low. Love this. Obviously, BMW thought of this. I was worried about this, by the way, as a user. If I am riding off-road and I am riding really slow because I'm trying to not break my neck, the last thing I want to do when I'm going over big baby heads at 2-3 miles an hour is for the bike to be coming lower. I'm going to buy sport suspension and a larger rear spring, and I want that bike to be as high as possible because I'm 6'3" before I put boots on. And so to have this continually high ride height in enduro mode, freaking awesome. Good job, BMW. I was worried about this setting. I don't know if the Pan America does this with Harley Davidson, but I'm so happy that BMW added this. It's just freaking great. Let's see, Eco Rain Road and Enduro. The riding modes Pro, you have Dynamic, which is brisk riding. Dynamic Pro, which is dry roads. They obviously no rain. Enduro Pro would not be tires. It's the same as it is today. I want to see if I can adjust. Let's see. Doop. What I wanted to find out was at what point does it actually start to decrease? And I don't know where that is yet. So we're going to get there. Where are we in the video time? We're like 20 minutes in. I'm sorry, guys. Um, that's what I want to find out is what speeds do the motorcycle raise and lower, just out of curiosity. We're going to keep pushing through this until we find it. So it's going through all the riding mode changes, all the adjustments you have access to. There's not anything new that's from the 1250 here that you want to see. That's new to me at least. How you use cruise control. It's the same user operation for plus minus, but you will have that icon somewhere here for distance control, but nothing new in how you actually operate it. There's your riding assistance with cruise control and radar. Bunch of lawyer speak. We don't need to talk to lawyers. There's your display showing how distance is, far, medium, or close. And you can disable ACC if you want to. So you can, and also ACC is not available in Enduro and Pro running modes. The same goes for actually cruise control. Cruise control wasn't available in Enduro Pro before either. So it may have been available in Enduro, but it wasn't Enduro Pro. There's your distancing. Does it give an actual specification for distancing? No. You do have forward collision control. It's just a bit of a flash, and I think it will brake for you. Let's see. It cannot work at high speeds or around corners, and it can lose track of detected objects. I can attest to this as someone with an R18 that has the automatic cruise control, not the forward collision mitigation. When my wife rides in front of me on her F750GS, my R18 does not detect her when we are riding staggered. It only detects her when she is riding directly in front of me in the lane, which, as you all know, motorcycles don't ride that way. And so the R18 has very similar module as the GS. I would not cough this up as just lawyer speak. I can tell you for sure that my R18 doesn't see motorcycles that aren't directly in front of it. And so, yeah. Let's see how, so if it detects a critical driving situation, a light up red will take over the whole TFT, warning pulse will blink red, and then brake assist will be activated. And brake assist will do what? You can adjust it though, and you can change it to activated or deactivated. Okay. You can also adjust the warning pulse or deactivate it completely. It doesn't give you much else as far as like how quickly it's going to brake. It's not going to not hit the thing in front of you. It's going to greatly decrease the speed at which you hit it. And of course, if you intervene with grabbing a whole handful of brakes, the GS will happily let you take over that operation. But hopefully, if you're doing 60 miles per hour, it's decreased you to about 30 or 20 before you can run into it. So, it's doing its best to basically decrease the amount of damage your body is going to sustain when you hit this immovable object that's in front of you. You do have haptics. Nothing else there. You've got turn signal, lane change warning. So it will light up the triangle, but the steering has no power to it. It is not going to keep you in your lane. It's just going to warn you of a blind spot and something on your blind spot. So it's not like some modern cars that have lane keep assist. It's not doing that. So you can also turn off hill control and turn off lane assist. Not lane assist, sorry, lane change warning. There's your hill start. Yeah, we knew that already from the 1200, 1250. That's a 2017 and later feature. Anti-theft. Not going to get into that in this video because we are like really running late on time. Tire pressure monitoring. There is your adjusting the windshield. It is a menu. It's a button on your left rocker to turn that up, and you can push it all the way up, push it all the way down. You've got a button for it. Heated grips. I think you have 1 through 5 settings on the heated grips now. You also have heated seat controls for front and rear, and it shows in your TFT, even though they are built into your seat. And they share one plug, I believe, back to the computer. Central locking. If equipped with the Vario boxes, you can lock the boxes now, and these get locked with the key when you put the off button. So that's nice. You also have a storage seat for your phone, which should have a USB cord in there. to charge your phone. You will need to buy that USB cord separately. BMW will sell you a USB-C or a lightning cord, and maybe a micro as well. Okay, what are we getting to now? Mirrors, headlights, clutch. I don't think there's going to be much in here, although there is spring load in here, spring preload in here. Little change to the mirror locks. There is now a cable behind your mirrors that you'll need to be mindful of because that's what controls the lane change assist. Headline range and spring preload. Oh, here we go. So yeah, we know how to adjust clutch levers. Although the clutch lever adjuster is different on 1300s from the 1250. It's a new adjuster. I'm not going to get into it. When you get the bike, it's really easy to figure out. Also adjusting the shift lever, adjusting the brake lever, got all that stuff. You can flip those upside down to change the height of those if you have the 719 package, and Duro footrest are also high or low, which is nice. You got some adjustability basically in all these. And of course, adjusting the handlebars for optimal riding conditions. Spring preload. So they still assume that their riders weigh 85 kilograms. Don't you love that? Up to 105 if you're doing, and this, by the way, this is non-ESA or non-DSA bikes, and then maximum is 165 kilograms. They're assuming that 2 Americans with luggage weighs 363 pounds. That is your maximum stock non-DSA setup with preload on the stock spring is 365 pounds. You plus a passenger plus your luggage and fuel, right? Yeah. No, fuel is included in that stat. It does not include DSA stuff though, but we're going to see about, we're going to keep going here. We are making progress. Don't get over 5,000 RPMs for the first 621 miles, and then no full throttle either for the first 621 miles. And then you should do your mileage running in check at between 300 and 746. So even if you've done your running in check, they still don't want you going to red line or over 5,000 RPM for that first 621 miles. Gear assist pro, braking, riding in the rain. This is a cool thing I pointed out in my last video. If your bike is equipped with a center stand, praise to the to the motorcycle gods in Berlin and Munich. Your current center stand on like 1200 GS and newer has a thing that you see here that you push your heel on to stand the bike up on the center stand. When you're riding off road and you're in the balls of your feet and you have a size 13 shoe like me, your heel is constantly hitting that lever. Well, now the lever actually collapses flat. So the lever is going to be out of the way for your riding and on the side stand. And when you need to lift the center stand up, you just pull the lever up with your hands or your foot, and then you push down to put it up. It's nice. If you forget to put this back down, though, that could really catch on you if you drop your bike and you're riding on dirt. So just fold it back in after that. Pretty cool, nice feature, though, and it was a common complaint of mine on center stand equipped GS bikes. What is the prop up assist? Oh, that's, no, we're good on that one. That just stops the bike's motor. They are recommending 89 octane fuel. You can run 87 if you need to. Maximum 15% ethanol for both of those. So they want you to run mid-grade, but you can run basic if you need to. Some guys don't think you can run regular unleaded. You can, it's just not recommended. No changes to fuel filler cap design. That's all the same as last time. Same for transporting, it's still cell lever. Ah, there's the cool parts, all the cool stuff. And we're like 30 minutes into this video. This is like a podcast episode. RTC isn't measured until you're going at least 19 miles per hour. 36 and what's the rear? Should be 3642 is what I thought, but maybe it's not. I might have skipped over that. Max 9,000 RPM, hill start control, shift cam, brake warning jerk. So it does. So it does have, and this may have been the press release, it does have corner illumination. So 1200 to 1250 GS prior to year 2022, I think, your headlight was fixed. In 2022, the R1250 GS getting a new headlight that had up down, and so it would adjust when you're going over a corner as to not blind people and also illuminate the road properly. Whereas bikes like the R1250 RT and the R18 were getting corner illumination, which is what the KTM Super Adventure R has had for quite a while now. So now, thanks to the new design of the headlight, it is a matrix LED, and the matrix LED means there's a lot of little LEDs. And as you're cornering or going up and down, the LEDs can change their direction in different ways. Pretty cool feature. So that's a nice improvement, and that's on all of the 1300 GSs. Now, what I didn't see here, I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to do a final check to see if I can find anything. There's your new oil level bit right there, showing your min-max lines. I think having these solid lines is going to remove a lot of ambiguity from riders who think that they either overfilled or underfilled their oil level. So this is really, really nice, just a nice user-friendly improvement. Still, I think it's still 4 liters of oil. There's your oil fill plug. Yes, you can damage your engine. Brake pads. Don't care. Don't care. Dot 4 still for your brake fluid. There's your coolant, which I noted in another video. What is this? Topping off coolant. Oh, it gives you a, where is that a picture of? Oh, they do want you to remove the right side trim panel to get to the coolant fill to add coolant, which is the same on the current bikes, by the way. Yeah, 3642 still for your tire pressure, 0.3 and 0.1 if you want to get really specific. So the only thing I did not see is at what speed, and this is all very similar, almost identical to the way you do the work today, even if there were some small changes in the size of these. But like, I'm not seeing anything here that's too revolutionary from what we already had on our bikes. I mean, like very similar torque specs. Air filter. Oh, the air filter. So it is, you remove the rider's seat in the right side trim panel. There's only one air filter. So GS Adventure, you have to kind of remove like a lot of the cowl that goes over the fuel tank to get to the air filter, because both air intakes go into one central area and then down to the boxer intakes. The air filter is only on the right side now, not on the left side. So you only have to do one. You only have one snorkel. So that would mean if you drop your bike on your right side a lot, you're probably going to hydro lock your bike faster than if you're a left side dropper like me. Good news, left side droppers. And there's your access to get to your air filter cover if you need it. Right there. There's your bolts. Sorry, screws. We're almost done. Oh, battery jump points are under the seat. That's nice. You currently have to remove that side panel of the T25s, and there's a little service area for the positive lead, but now you have them under your seat, which is pretty cool. Right? I think so. Yeah. And there is a cold climate version. Must be they still have some AGM bikes if you live in Sweden. I don't know. What does cold climate mean? I'm probably going too fast for myself here. There's your fuse. Oh, you only have 2 fuses. It's all CAN bus. There's your there's your OBD11 socket, which is by your battery under your seat. USB charging. There's your USB port inside of your. It's only 5 volts, so you can only get 2.1 amps or 10.5 watts. So just give you an example of why this is important, why I wish it was higher. The current iPhone MagSafe charges at like 10 watts. Qi 2, I think, charges at 15 watts. And the iPhone 15 Pro, if you connect it to a wall adapter, can charge your phone at 27 watts. And so while I don't think 10.55 watts is going to discharge your battery when you're running like nav, music, and everything else, it's not going to charge very fast if you're running like Connected Ride with all the navigation features and you're streaming from like Spotify. You're not going to charge from like 0 to 100 in an hour while you're doing all that stuff with it. So, and you'll probably still have to buy a case separately. Central, and there's also a 5-volt USB with 15 watts in the Vario side case there. I don't know why it changed, but you've got a USB charge point inside of your Vario as well. That's how you remove your Vario cases. There's how you remove the case to affix your Garmin connected ride dongle thingy. Okay, so speed. Yeah, I know, but I'm just like really curious. Or what if I do DSA? It doesn't give you any sort of, oh, I didn't actually notice this before. So the full extent of radar detection is available for a lean angle up to 25 degrees. Your radar range can see about 262 feet ahead of you. Now, keep in mind, like braking distances, right? Like a 100-foot braking distance is really, really good. Some MSF coach can probably correct me on what like an average motorcycle braking distance is based on your speed, but you have 80 meters of range for your radar. Um, and you can have a differential of up to 50 miles per hour between your bike speed and the bike in front of you speed for the radar to detect a change and slow you down appropriately. Um, Nothing there. Keep going. I'm not seeing anything about that speed, which is really interesting. Let's go to the very bottom here. Oh, wait, here we go. So, nope, nope. Well, guys, got nothing. This is still a fun video though, right? Thanks y'all for watching. I appreciate it. This was longer than I wanted to be. I'm sorry, but I really wanted to dive into this user manual to find some cool, fun new 1300GS things that weren't in the press release. If you're waiting for your bike, you're probably watching this just excited and giddy, and I get it. I totally get it. Good luck with your new bikes. Enjoy it. And I look forward to doing a deeper dive when I actually get to ride one. But for now, I'm just like you on the internet sleuthing for news and parts. All right, everyone, be safe. Take care. Ride safe.